to change that threshold to make it easier to introduce different steps. And so I've met with the counter-extremism minister, who's not of my party, actually, to make that point directly to him. We need some interim steps that allow us to promote community cohesion in a town like Luton. Overall, I'm not fundamentally in favour of banning individuals or groups from having views. I think in a free society, you've got to enable free speech. But what I am fundamentally committed to is preventing people from targeting a single place or a single group of people and intimidating them, which is the classic definition of what's happened in this town over the last 5 or 6 years, while successive Tory ministers actually have refused to engage on the issue.
I think Gavin Sukar, who is who I was supposed to meet actually. Do you know I bumped into him? Chicken George. Do you know Chicken George? You know Chicken George? But you can't eat. Did you eat Chicken George? No, it's the only one Muslims don't eat in. Yeah. Yeah, you know about Chicken George. But yeah, I bumped into him. This is the problem that I see. I bumped into him in Chicken George, and I read up that at the House of Commons he held a Celebrate the Prophet Muhammad Day. Yeah, he organised it. So when I said, listen, Gavin, the first time I've seen you in 6 years, after everything that's gone on, everything you've stood on the TV and said about me, can we just have a word outside the chicken shop? I think I wasn't being aggressive or anything towards him. I said, just a quick chat. So I said to him then, tell me what you know about the Prophet Muhammad. And he just looked at me blank. I goes, well, I know Muslims. And he said, well, I know. I goes, come on, mate. You held to Celebrate the Prophet Muhammad Day. What do you know about him? He said, well, I know Muslims respect him. I was just like, oh, come on, mate. What do you know about his life? What is it you wanted to celebrate about his life that you know? Just look blank. And for me, as a non-Muslim, he's a non-Muslim, I said, that is pathetic. You're holding a day to celebrate who someone, from a non-Muslim perspective, I see as an immoral man. Yeah? I'm not going to sit here and slate him, he's your prophet. Yeah? I see him as an immoral man. I see that he committed heinous acts. Yeah? All these different things that I see that you know nothing about, Gavin. What do you know about him? And he said, I said, so surely before you celebrate a man's day, you'd research him. I said, a lot of people admired Hitler, but you wouldn't celebrate a celebration of his life. But yeah, so Gavin Sukar, when he says both groups gave Luton a bad name, anything I did, anything we did, was a reaction. We were a reaction to a problem. If that problem had been dealt with, either by Gavin Sukar's government, by Gavin Sukar's Labour Party, who in fact now he's actually coming out now admitting that there's huge problems in the Labour Party in Luton with postal irregularities, voting and etc. etc. I think he said democracy's finished within the local Labour Party because of the way they're just using the system. But yeah, if his group and his government would have dealt with these problems, no one would have heard of Tommy Robinson. There would have never been an English Defence League. But his government and his local council's tactic was to appease some more. And that led to the English Defence League. So if any of them have a bad or negative word to say about me or any of the group I formed, well, they need to realise that they created it. That it's their fault it happened. They made it. Yeah. So Gavin Sukar, if you're watching this,